Fallout isn't your typical post-apocalypse. It's a world where chrome-plated robots clash with radiation-scarred raiders, all under the twisted gleam of a 1950s-style future gone wrong. Get ready to explore a wasteland unlike any other, and come with me while we get the Platinum Trophy for Fallout 4. The Fallout franchise is probably one of my top 10 gaming franchises of all time. The mix of what would happen if the world stayed in a 1950s Americana and the nuclear bombs went off is something that grabbed my attention all those years ago when it first came out. My favorite type of games are those post-apocalyptic games. I love playing them to find out how exactly this world came to an end, what had happened, things like Horizon Forbidden West and Days Gone. I just love exploring and learning all that I can. Fallout 4, in my opinion, is one of the weakest, unfortunately, of the franchise. I never tried Fallout 76, mainly because it was based around online, and everything I saw when it first came out was an absolute mess.
Wait, take the clothes off. We gotta see how it deformed you.
Oh man, that hand though.
What the fuck?
This is another game on my backlog that I have been meaning to clear, with me getting the first trophy nearly 8.5 years ago. And now with the new Fallout series on Amazon Prime and me finishing watching that, I had to complete this and get the platinum. If this video gets more than 50 likes, we will attempt Fallout 76. And if you want to become a member of this channel, please do. It will give you access to the videos before anyone else gets to see them, along with some other perks that you can check out in the description. So first, we're going to complete all the main trophies by completing the stories and all of the different endings. We're then going to clean up any trophies that I've got left from the main game, and then we're going to tackle the DLC content trophies to ensure that 100%. And as you'll see in this video, it doesn't quite go to plan. Now, we have a lot of trophies already to get for this game, and as I thought I would never be coming back to it, I didn't upload my save file, so the first thing we had to do was to get up to the point in the game where I got last time, and that was with the mission Hunter Hunted. So, a rundown of the Fallout 4 story. If you've never played this, you are an ex-soldier who's just moved into Sanctuary Hills with his wife and son Sean. With the purchase of the house, you get a spot in the local vault in case the worst should happen. And what would you know, 30 seconds after he leaves, we get a notification on the news that the bombs started dropping. So you rush to the vault and get there in the nick of time. Now, if you haven't played the Fallout series before, something you should know is that all vaults throughout America were used for all different types of experiments. For example, Vault 32 from New Vegas was where a social experiment in which the inhabitants were provided access to overstocked armory with no security measures, or Vault 92 from Fallout 3 where medical experiment testing meaning to induce aggression using white noise. Your Vault 111 was used for cryogenic freezing, so you step in and wham, you're frozen. Sometime later, you awaken and you see your wife get sent back to the pregame lobby and your son Sean is taken before freezing up again. When you wake up for a second time, you make your way back to your home, and now starts the race to find Sean. Find out what happened, and along the way, this is where you are introduced to your first companion, which is Dogmeat. When you get to the first town, you aid a person named Preston, who is a Minuteman, which is one of the factions found around the Commonwealth that you are going to help throughout the game. This is where you help him out, send the people back to Sanctuary Hills, and this is where the new part of the game that was added to the Fallout series, which is settlement building, which is essentially you have a few Tamagotchi towns and it's your job to keep everyone happy and alive and fed and safe. And we will come back to this one in a little bit more detail, as there is a trophy related to this that I still never got, which is called Benevolent Leader. So you go around the Commonwealth completing missions and running into and joining a number of factions like the Minutemen, the Railroad, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Institute. The Railroad are a take on the Underground Railroad in real history, but instead of aiding slaves to freedom, they are freeing synths, which are human-like robots that the Institute have been creating and swapping them out for real people. For what reason, I don't know.
Or another. I'm Desdemona, and I'm the leader of the Railroad. And you are? Deacon, where have you been?
You're having a party. What gives with my invitation?
I need intel. Who is this?
Wow. Newsflash, boss. This guy is kind of a big deal out there.
The Brotherhood of Steel are the same Brotherhood of Steel from all of the other games, but if you've not played them, they are an offshoot of the Old World Army who believe they should have control over all Old World technology and go out looking for things such as power armors, vertibirds, and the like.
You're a vault dweller? Most people wouldn't admit to such a thing. I appreciate your honesty. If I appear suspicious, it's because our mission here has been difficult. Since the moment we arrived in the Commonwealth, we've been constantly under fire. If you want to continue pitching in, we could use an extra gun on our side.
And the Institute, they are the boogeymen of the Commonwealth. Not much is known, just that they take people in their sleep and they have your son. When you find the man that has kidnapped your son, you find out he has been living with them for some time. After watching some memories from his brain, we find out that there is a way to get to the Institute, and that is via teleport. We know that there was a doctor that escaped the Institute, and when we find him, he tells us that we need to defeat a Corsair, which is the Commonwealth's version and Fallout's version of a Terminator. And that is where we are up to with the story trophies, leading us to defeat that Corsair and get the trophy Hunter hunted.
In your head. That you cannot have.
Well, that was easy enough. And we got the first trophy in 8 years. Hunter hunted. Let's go. Once we have defeated that Corsair and the trophy has popped, we need to make 3 separate saves for the 3 different ending style trophies. All endings follow similar steps. Build a teleporter, gain access to the Institute, and then pick a side, and then follow that side through to the end. So here's the endings. If you don't want spoilers for an 8-year-old game, skip to this timestamp. So we make it to the Institute and we find Sean, and sure enough, he's 10 years old and you try to reconnect. But something isn't right.
Please, Sean, I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me.
Then we are introduced to Father, who is the leader of this Institute, and that the child is not Sean, but in fact a child synth. So where is Sean? Well,
I am your son.
Father is Sean, and it hasn't been 10 years, it has been 60 years. The game does a pretty good and bad job of hiding this, but if you pay attention to the game and some of the dialogues, you will kind of get where this story was going at the beginning. Anyway, if you side with the Institute, they, like the Brotherhood, want to control the Commonwealth with their technology. To do this, we need to take out the Brotherhood, take out the Railroad, tell the Commonwealth we are now in charge, power up a nuclear reactor, and become the leader of the Institute. As your son isn't going to make it. Upon doing this, I gain the trophies Institutionalized, Mankind Redefined, Powering Up, Nuclear Option, and Prepared for the Future. And we should have Prepared for the Future. There we go. So, Blind Betrayal, Ad Victorium. So, those are the Railroad ones, and those are the Brotherhood ones. So, we're probably going to do Brotherhood next, then Underground Undercover, then we literally only have a few like other ones to do, and we've got the Platinum. What I think we'll do though is once we've done the 2 story modes, we'll work through these. It looks like the Nuka World one's going to be the longest. The Wasteland Workshop ones, I didn't even realize that they're just basically settlement stuff. The Contractions Workshop's just settlement stuff, and then the Vault Tech, I didn't even realize, but I thought it was just a normal mission. It wasn't, so I wondered why there was such a big settlement. It's because it's a vault. So we'll try that and see what happens. When siding with the Brotherhood, the aim is to take out the Institute, and to do this we need by getting all of the parts for Liberty Prime, a big, massive robot. We need to take out Dance, who apparently has been a synth all this time, and then invade the Institute and...
Must be eradicated.
Completing this gained me the trophies Blind Betrayal, Ad Victorium, and Nuclear Option. Finally, the Railroad. Thankfully, you do not need to play this one out until the end in order to get the faction-specific trophies. In this one, we need to arrange for the freedom of the synths stuck inside the Institute or the ones that have been brought back, all with the help of a mole inside the Institute. So we side with the Institute and make them believe we are working with them, all up until the point where they are going to attack the Railroad, in which case you then change up and protect the synth. That will give you the trophies Underground Undercover and Rocket's Red Glare. Now that all the story trophies are out of the way, it leaves a bunch of miscellaneous trophies. We head to a place where we know there are enemies, pop a stealth boy and drop the grenade in their pocket and watch the fireworks. For this, the trophies Pranks the Return. Just a side note, you need to have the pickpocket ability to a high enough rate in order to drop grenades in order to get this. Right, now I'm pickpocketing. If I put that there. Oh, we got the trophy. Let's go. Once that was done, we needed to collect all 20 bobbleheads. Now, the bobbleheads are collectibles throughout the game, and collecting each one will provide you a boost to certain aspects, such as increasing one of the special features, such as strength or agility, or ones that will improve certain skill or ability, such as lockpicking or energy weapons. Right, we're at Atom Cat's garage, and if I'm right, somewhere in here. Oh, power armor suit. I'm gonna come back for that. Somewhere in here is the last bobblehead. It's supposed to be on a car. Of ornament. Oh, there we go.
Hell yeah.
There we go. There are their action figures. That's all the bobbleheads collected. Once this was done, it left me with 2 trophies that I struggled with the first time around and couldn't get, which was Benevolent Leader and Lovable. Benevolent Leader requires me to get maximum happiness in a settlement. Now, I could do this properly, but last time I tried and failed completely, so we got the guide up, and this was still the most awkward trophy to get. I followed the steps to the guide, and I got to 93%, and then I started losing happiness for no reason at all. Foods was good, beds was good, water was good, but no matter what I did, it kept going down. Then I looked up a different guide, and it was essentially the same steps, but this one specified to decrease the number of settlers in your settlement, so we tried that. Yes! Oh, thank God for that. That has got to be one of the most awkward trophies going. At first, I followed one step, and then it got to like 93, and just the red arrow showed up, and I couldn't get it any higher. And then I got it down to the amount of people that I needed at the settlement, but like an idiot, I'd sent one of them off on a supply run, so I had to wait for the supply runs to keep turning up for me to reassign them in the hopes that it's the one that I have located here. Because it kept getting to 98% and it kept going down. There was just no way of knowing where I was going wrong. So like everything was green, yet the arrow was still going down and I had no idea why. But oh my God, thank God that is finally done. And Lovable is to get a companion to max affinity. Now I played the whole story through with the same companion in the hopes that it would pop, but we are now a few hours into the post game and I had no idea how to get this trophy. Now I had no idea how to get this trophy to pop, but I found out that all I had to do was a mission that he gave me about 20 hours or so ago that I was leaving, and there we have it, Lovable, trophy complete, and we can now start moving on to the DLC trophies.
Well, come on then. We're not helping anyone standing around here. Yeah, that is if you're still interested in traveling together. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted some time on your own after all this.
We will get the workshop ones out the way, as it just requires you to build certain things for your settlement. Contraptions has a total of 3. Timeout for putting someone into a stockade I already had. somehow. Mass production for producing 100 objects from builders. This one popped while I was just walking around in the wasteland. And lastly, show off, I completed this along with one of the ones from Wasteland Workshop, and that was Trapper for making one of every type of trap available. Okay, so we've got a couple of trophies that we can knock out real quick. I got them set up ready, so we need one for building every type of cage. There's one cage left, and then there's a trophy for putting on armor onto this, power armor onto that, and a weapon there. So we'll try. We'll get those two out of the way. So we start by building the last cage. This should be the trophy for that. There we go, Trapper. So we have, that is one of every cage. So we've done that. I'll set those up in a minute because obviously we need a trophy for taming animals and doing some sort of death match. And then, how does this work? So we put. Okay, so there's a weapon there. Hopefully. No, it needs to be armor. And I haven't got any armor, so. Ah, right, okay. It's not very intuitive, this, but you put the armor in, and then you do. And you have to then display it. That makes no sense, but there we go. Show off. Display a weapon rack on a weapon on a weapon rack, armor on an armor rack, and power armor on a power armor display. So there we go. That's that trophy done, and I think that leaves us with contraptions done. Yep. So contraptions is now done. We need to do these, so I'll do that now. I'll power those up and get the creatures. And then we've got two trophies left on the game for Platinum with saving one. So we'll get that last one done, which is Benevolent Leader, which is the one that I've been finding the hardest. Speaking of Wasteland Workshop, there are 3 trophies for this as well, and the 2 that are left are Tame 5 animals and have a spectator arena fight. Right, apparently if I remove the power, it should open all the doors. And that means we get the trophy. There we go, docile. Tame 5 creatures in a settlement. Quitting time bell. Maybe this time it works.
Glad that's it.
There we go, Instigator. Spectator fight arena. So that's all of the Wasteland Workshop trophies done. So we'll move over and get on with the Vault Tech Workshop trophies. I have 2 trophies left, which is become an overseer and put a jumpsuit and Pip-Boy on a Vault Dweller, which I found out didn't need to take me as long as it should have, as all you had to do to become overseer was to get rid of the old one.
Some people complain, but not me. Just happy to be here.
I'd like to trade some items.
Right, so I've got a Pip-Boy. If I put this on, it should give me a trophy. There we go, we've got Vault Dweller. And then if I do this, should give me a... There we go, Overseer. So I didn't need to mess about with all those trophies. I was doing all these quests that I didn't want to have to do. And then I realized that I didn't have to do them in the first place. So, great. Last up is the big DLC packs. We'll start with Automatron, as I only have 2 trophies left to get to this one, and it's to complete 2 quests, headhunting and restoring order.
There. Perhaps I'll remain here for a while. I suspect you'll have quite a tale to tell. I believe I have a certain understanding. Still, had the mechanist rope halting, if not with this knowledge.
Far Harbor is a story DLC that will take you on a journey to a new map. The coastal town of Far Harbor is an island town overrun by this mysterious fog and a whole bunch of new types of sea creatures. You're looking for Kasumi, who has been kidnapped and needs rescuing. You later find out that she's run away and she's actually a synth, and she's gone to a synth safe haven, similar to what the railroad were doing in the big map. You also have the residents of Far Harbor and the children of Atom. Just like the main game, you need to pick a side to come out on top. There are 5 trophies related to the story, with one actually being missable, and that is cleansing the land for setting off the nuke inside the subbase. And we only need 2 story and 4 of the miscellaneous ones done, and that's cleansing the land and close to home.
Now, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lockdown complete.
You again.
The others are ones that came with just playing, and that is to defeat 30 sea creatures, discover 20 locations, use 3 workshops, and find all the magazines.
Echo Lake. And take this.
We're talking to you now. Cactus was many things.
Excellent.
So we saved the best, longest, and hardest DLCs out of all of them for last. And on top of that, there are also a bunch of buggy and missable trophies. This DLC has you go to a Disneyland-style Nuka-Cola themed theme park, and when you get there, you defeat the leader and become the new overboss. This DLC requires you to make 3 different factions happy, but with it being Fallout, that isn't possible, and you need to choose one of them. So the first thing I wanted to do was to make sure I got the buggy trophies, as I did not want to get hours in and realize the trophy was not possible. One of those was to make 20 different Nuka-Cola flavors, and to do that you have to collect 15 of the recipes throughout the map, and a few of them have known bugs causing them to just fall through the map. Once they were collected, it was time to brew them, but there was a problem. Yes, it bugged. I loaded previous saves, I retried, I started again. Everything I tried would not allow the Nuka Void to even go through. Even though I picked it up, it did not register as a brew that I could make. So unfortunately, we failed at the last hurdle. Anyway, with that out of the way, there was only one thing left to do, and that was to unlock the platinum. Right, so here we have it, the last trophy to get for the platinum. Now, I was hoping to get the 100%, but the trophy for the beverages is bugged, as it says it was. No matter what I do, I could not get that Nuka Void to, like, register. I'd pick it up, I'd come out, I'd go, I'd leave, I'd restart. I did everything that I possibly could, and yet still there was just no way. It just wasn't going into the recipe book. So unfortunately, I wanted to 100% this, but we can't. But this is the last trophy we left, which is get a home run, which is to run all the bases in Diamond City. So there's first base.
Look at you.
There's second base. There's third base. And then I think we go to home plate. That should pop the trophy. Well, that didn't work, so let's try it again. Right. Let me get out of the power armor just in case that's where the issue lies. So, right, we stood on home plate.
You read the paper? Dave hiding among us.
Hey, no shame in it.
Right.
Buy and sell everything. Do everyone. Except
Need some custom hardware? We got a free workbench for all your modifications. Scopes,
Right, now it should work.
the latest hairstyle from the upper stand.
There we go. Home run. And the platinum trophy earned. Let's go. Now, the Fallout franchise, as I've said, is one of my favorite franchises. But Fallout 4 does suffer from the fact that it is a Bethesda game that is essentially a Oblivion engine that has just been updated over time. I would love the fact that now that the new Fallout series has dropped, there's a load of hype around the Fallout franchise, that they are working on a Fallout 5, and that they're going to potentially, hopefully, change the engine. I don't think they will. I think it'll be a buggy mess like Fallout 76. But let's face it, we're all going to play it. This franchise is a top-tier franchise. Bethesda know it, and they do put a lot of effort into their games. If this video gets more than 50 likes, we will attempt a Fallout 76 Platinum run. If you've made it this far into the video, please do drop a like, subscribe for more Platinum content.